What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we finally have the information for Treasure Map versus Jinbe, which is going to be dropping, as you can see there, March 15th to March 19th is this duration of the map. So it is a kind of annoying treasure map, because obviously it's wedged into the anniversary. So yeah, I mean, you know, you can say what you will about treasure maps, whether you love them or you hate them. They are kind of essential for us to grind out those limit break materials, and especially because of the anniversary, and if you were lucky enough to pull a lot of new Sugo rare characters, you probably want to limit break those units. So that's going to be quite important. But before we get into the breakdown of the free-to-play teams that I've built for you guys for this treasure map, let's go ahead and start talking about the brand new free-to-play unit that we're all going to be farming for, which is this Jinbe, who is a sci-fighter powerhouse with a captain effect that's actually pretty good, boosting your strength, psi, and int characters by 3.5 and then reducing despair by 1. It's a very good free-to-play captain, honestly. Flat boost to 3 types is really, really good. Now, as for his special, 13 turn cooldown at max is going to reduce your crew's paralysis and special bind duration by 7, and if your HP is full when you launch the special, you get a 2 times color affinity boost to strength, psi, and int. Otherwise, it's just a 1.7 boost. So it's a great unit overall, and with the crewmate ability of resisting special bind by 7, yeah, this unit is likely going to see some sort of play, and then his own strength and int slots will be counted as beneficial as well, which is pretty good. His potential abilities, he got 5% damage reduction for int, 150 base attack boost after receiving damage and reducing 3 turns of increased damage taken, and he has the ship bind or the ship despair resistance by 5, which is, you know, it's not that important, but sometimes you'll need it, so that's kind of okay. His support effect is nothing crazy. There is 7% attack and HP to Nami, Chopper, Brook, and Carrot. And in Rumble, what does he do? I actually haven't read this before. Strength, int, and psi enemies. Strength, int, psi will get level 5 attack. 2 free spirit and cerebral enemies will get defense down level 3. For that CT? No, this is terrible. This is a really bad special. And his passive is for the first 60 seconds, strength teammates get level 3 defense, psi get level 5 HP, int get level 6 speed. This is a terrible unit in Rumble. There is no reason to use this unit at all. No, I just can't advise using this unit. He's just terrible. So either way, you're not using him in Rumble. You're using him in regular content. He is very good in regular content, right? So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and scroll all the way down to the treasure map crew button, where we can start breaking down our personal teams. So the first of these mini bosses is going to be Nami. If we go over to the quest guide and over to the quest guide information here, we can see what will actually happen. So this is actually versus this is versus Nami, but you can see the recommended character they're suggesting is Carrot, but I want to use Carrot a little bit later on, because remember, these are free to play teams. So the ones that they suggest are like, you know, hypothetically, if you have every unit in the game, you should probably use Carrot for this fight. But of course, for people that don't have every unit in the game, you may not want to do this. But either way, on Battle 5, the preemptive attack gives 6 turns of bind to your middle row, and also inflicts delay immunity as well, so you cannot delay the enemy. Nami herself only has 100,000 HP, so she's pretty easy to take down. Also, in the little icon right next to Nami's picture in the corner there, you can see that she's actually an int boss. So ideally, you just bring some psi characters. So the full super type Straw Hat crew that came out with the version 10.0 celebration is ideally what you want to do, as my Elgato decides to cut out once again, which is quite a common thing, but either way, there we go. So this team is going to be quite easy. You can use the Nami in the bottom corner there, which will actually get rid of the bind in your middle row, and then you can use the rest of the characters to give you matching slots, attack boost, orb boost, chain lock, affinity, whatever you want. It's pretty straightforward from there. So now we're going to have taken our attention at Brook. Now, Brook in the top corner there, you can see that he is a Dex unit. And for the quest guide information, it mentions that the preemptive attack, he'll give you empty slots. He'll give you 3 turns of paralysis. And he's also going to go ahead and give you 5 turns of a 1.1 chain lock. So you definitely want to get rid of that. And he also has delay immunity. But once you defeat him, he does 20,000 damage to your team. Now, in most cases, because of stat boosts and all of that, you're going to have more than 20,000 health. So in this team, we do have Treasure Map Doflamingo in the corner just to block damage. But realistically speaking, the team should have more than 20,000 health. So you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, bringing a damage reducer in a lot of cases. But either way, this is a free-to-play team, and this is what we're doing, okay? Now, in this situation here, we're using double Chopper. Chopper being a 3 times boosted to strength. So it's kind of nice. You can actually, what I would suggest as well is put Ace here, so that when you go ahead and use your double Chopper special, you can actually get the full board of orbs to your strength units at least. Also, I would advise using your VV first, because VV will get rid of the chain lock, and also with double special activation, you actually get a bigger attack boost rather than what Chopper can give you. Ace is a good orb booster. You've got the Lucci, which gives you color affinity. Ideally, use Lucci first because Lucci will shuffle your orbs around. So use Lucci first, then go ahead and use Vivi twice. Then use your choppers, use Ace, and then you can finish off with Doflamingo if you want, or you can switch Dofi out for another unit, depending on the situation. But either way, this is going to get through the Brook fight. He only has around 900,000 health, but obviously that's going to scale up more and more. But this team does a really good amount of damage with all of the specials launch, so shouldn't really be expecting it to be too difficult, especially because he's a dex boss, and there's lots of really, really good strength units boosted for this treasure map. So now we're going to go ahead and have a look at Chopper. Now, this boss Chopper is an int boss, and we'll have a look at the quest guide of what he does. But with the preemptive, he'll go ahead and give you badly matching slots. He'll also go ahead and stun your middle row, and also give 1.5 times increased damage taken. He special binds your bottom row for 5 turns as well, and has defense down immunity. So with the 2 recommended characters that they suggest here, being Nami Sanji and also Raid Brook, these 2 units are super good here. You can use the switch effect of Nami and Sanji to change those unfavorable slots into matching. You've got Brook, which can go ahead and give you the ability to get rid of the special bind. I mean, Nami and Sanji also do that. Nami and Sanji are also good because they give you an orb boost, and they actually remove the stun debuff. You've got the Sabo Captain, which allows you to get a pretty decent Captain multiplier. Plus, he actually will, make all those tight slots matching for your dex, your strength, and your side characters, as well as giving you color affinity. Brook gives you a conditional boost. You've got Law just as filler unit, Shanks is a filler unit as well, because obviously this is a free-to-play team. There aren't really too many units I can bring here, but this team shouldn't have any problems. Specifically bringing Clash Brook and Treasure Map Nami Sanji is the most ideal situation here, and unfortunately Nami Sanji is only a 1.1 boost to this treasure map. I have no idea why. I feel like they should be a 1.2 at least. I believe this unit, when it came out on Japan, was a higher booster than what it was on global, so it is super annoying that it is the case. They always screw up our treasure maps in terms of point boosting units, but either way, this will be fine. Now, you can definitely run double Sabo if you want, but something that you could definitely do is bring V3 Boa Hancock as a friend captain instead, as that will give you overall more damage output against the int boss. And Chopper himself has also 900,000 HP, so that's all the information that you should need to have to take down this Chopper boss. And the final of the Battle Rush bosses is against Carrot. Now, Carrot is a Psy boss, and in her quest guide, it does mention that with the preemptive attack, she gives you badly matching slots. She'll give you 5 turns of attack down, and that's a pretty significant attack down as well. She has 5 turns of Rainbow Shield, % damage reduction, and she also has defense down immunity. Now, they do suggest to bring Capone here. Now, that is what I'm advising here, to bring Capone as a friend captain. And also we have the Akainu and Fujitora, just because they're a really solid captain overall. However, you could definitely run Kaido as the captain, or you could run this Pudding as a captain instead. Now, we do have Usopp on the team, because Usopp will help us remove the attack down, and Colosseum Okiku actually removes the Rainbow Shield % damage reduction on the enemy, as well as giving us an orb boost. So with this team, we can get a full board of matching slots with the Akainu Fuji special. We can get an attack boost with a friend Capone, or you can go ahead and use Kaido for the attack boost instead as well. Pudding is kind of here just because she's a 1.35 point booster. If you want more points, I would advise using Pudding as the captain instead, but I don't know, you could definitely do that. It just means that your strength units on this team aren't getting a boost, which realistically probably doesn't even matter, because, you're going to be attacking with type advantage anyway if you want to just kill the boss as quick as you can. Something to note though is that this Carrot boss actually has 1 million health, which means that she should be gaining around 100,000 or maybe even more per navigation level. So this Carrot boss definitely, as time goes on, is going to be a much more difficult boss to take down. So that is something to note, that you may want to invest a little bit more powerful units into this boss compared to the other bosses that you may be taking on, just because Carrot does seem a little bit more difficult, just because she'll be scaling her HP a lot higher compared to the other bosses. And now we've finally made it to the final boss fight, which is against Jinbe. We do have the Intrusion battle boss to talk about before we finish as well, but for this quest guide against Jinbe, which is the final regular boss of the treasure map, the Battle 4, which is against Aladdin, I believe. Aladdin's got 500,000 health, and I believe he is an int boss. So you've got that to look forward to. He gives you a full board of block orbs, and then also gives you 2 turns of paralysis and 5 turns of attack down. And then for the final boss against Jinbe, who is a dex boss, who will bind your top row for 4 turns. He'll give you a chain coefficient reduction for 3 turns, 5 turns of blue shield defense up, and delay immunity. Now, the way that we're taking on this team is that we are using the Christmas Nami to remove the paralysis. She changes the block orbs into matching, and also will remove with 3 of the 5 turns of attack down on battle 4, and then we can also have the support effect of the Pedro attached to Carrot, which removes the other 2 turns of attack down, which is really good, so that's nice. And then from there, we can basically just do what we want. We can just have the full border matching slots and just move on. We could technically use the Akano special as well if we want some more damage, so we can do that. The thing about this team as well is I would advise to bring the Sweet Commanders as the friend captain here. The Sweet Commanders are going to be the best case scenario because the boss is going to be Dex, so you'll get the most damage with them. You can definitely use Luffy Sanji if you wanted to as well. There's a couple of different options. So Luffy Sanji or Sweet Commanders, those are the 2 that I would suggest for this fight. And for the final fight, as we said, you know, we get the blue shield defense up. So what we're doing here is we're using Raid Jinbe to remove that their defense, basically, because they don't have defense down immunity. So we can bring a unit to just reduce their defense, which is good. And we're just going to be using Carrot Special, which will go ahead and get rid of the bind for us, which is really good. And Big Mom's special ability gives us the G slots and the boost that we need to take down the final boss. You don't have to do that. You can just rely on Carrot's orbs that she gives you and use the Sweet Commander special as well. There are a couple of different options that you could go down in order to take down the boss. But that's just what I'm suggesting in terms of a free-to-play team that can take down boss Jinbe for the treasure map. And finally, we have the Intrusion battle boss, which is against Sanji and Pudding. So Sanji and Pudding are also a Dex boss with a quest guide that mentions on the first battle, you need to predominantly bring Strength and Psi characters, as those are the characters that receive the 10 turns of cooldown. On battle 2, it is against a Luffy boss. He is a Dex character, and he has 1 million health. He'll give you empty slots, and he'll burn you for 3 turns, and also have delay immunity. And then the final boss against Sanji and Pudding is also Dex. They have 2 million health, and in the final battle, they'll give you 5 turns of despair. You can only use 3 specials for the first turn against them, and also they'll have 5 turns of damage threshold with a delay immunity. So the way we're getting around it this time is that we are going to be using the Sweet Commanders once again as a friend captain. Again, you can use Luffy Sanji if you want to. But in terms of getting around the burn, we have the Sabo to get around the burn, which is good. And also Pedro will change all of the empty slots that are given to us on battle 2. So Pedro gets rid of the empty slots, Sabo gets rid of the burn, and just with color affinity we can move on. We can actually use the Chopper special technically as well there as well, so we get an attack boost. And then on the final stage we can basically launch everything else, because one unit that's super duper good for this final boss is going to be Colosseum Dogstorm, because he removes despair, he removes damage threshold, he is a strength unit, and he's an attack booster to strength and psi characters, which is why we have him on the team. Carrot can give us an orb boost, we can use Sweet Commanders if we wanted to as well for a chain boost, color affinity for their attack boost instead, depending on what we want to do. But if we are using Sweet Commanders, we actually don't get inflicted with the despair anyway, so that's really, really nice. Don't even have to worry about it. So I would advise Sweet Commanders for this fight, but you don't have to. You can bring Luffy and Sanji if you wanted to. There's a couple of different options once again. So for these 2 fights against Jinbe and also Sanji Pudding, very similar built teams, but definitely either Sweet Commanders or Luffy and Sanji for taking on these bosses. But with all that being said, that is the breakdown for free-to-play teams for taking on this brand new treasure map versus Jinbe, starting on the 15th of March at 1900 PST time. I should be streaming as soon as this treasure map goes live, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.